what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Yes, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 268. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bri, how you doing?
Jamers, you know what? I can't complain. I got some good gaming in. I didn't spend an egregious amount of money at a bar, and yeah, I would say it's been pretty chill. I know you've been a busier boy than me.
I was busy. I was busy as hell, but I still was able to get some gaming in. I actually have a new gaming obsession right now, which is going to... It's nice, though. It is nice after my tragedy with my PS5 and Fallout. Bri, slay the spire. Slay the spire, slay the spire, slay the spire, slay the spire. Holy shit.
Let me look that up.
All right. You look that up.
So, Slay the Spire, so it's a card game? So it's like Magic, but like a dungeon crawling Magic?
Roguelike. So it's like Hades or Binding of Isaac, only you do it with deck building and card battling.
Huh.
And it is perfect. It's so goddamn good. I have it on the Switch. I had it super cheap from a sale one day. I liked it so goddamn much, I bought it for my iPhone, and it is a perfect port. I say it runs even quicker on the iPhone than on like an iPhone 14 than it does on the Switch. Like, there's no load times on the iPhone. The only problem I have is sometimes I'll fat finger and do the wrong card, but if you take your time, it is a perfectly paying port of it as well. It's so goddamn good. How much does
it cost on iPhone?
10.
So, I'm looking at it. I'm just trying to figure out. I got to be honest, Jim. I'm looking at some of the enemies. The artwork seems questionable.
What? What questionable? It's simple. Simple artwork. It's not going to blow your...
I see a giant whale that looks like it was made in MS Paint, and
That's not a whale. He helps you at the beginning of rounds after you die the first time.
And I see what looks like a donut hole and a diamond dice.
Look, Brian, I'm a retro gamer, all right? I'm a man of gameplay.
Jim.
I'm a man of gameplay, Brian.
I'm just asking questions here. So
you're not there for the art, all right? No one's there for the art. It's fine. Doesn't matter.
So you build a deck, so it's similar. So I guess, is it like a limit on how much you can have in your deck as you're going around?
You just start off with 5 very basic attack and 5 basic skill cards, which are your defense, and then like 1 or 2 like special cards, and then you get cards by winning rounds against enemies. You have mystery spots. You have treasures you can get. You have elite bosses. You have final bosses at the end of each of the runs. So, like, you have to go through 3 acts, and goddamn, is the 3rd act fucking tough. Like, right, exhilarating. One of the ones I won today, and it'll take you, if you make it through the entire thing, it'll probably take you about 2 hours. And, dude, the final one that I won today, 2 life left. 2 fucking health points left. Clenching my cheeks the entire goddamn time, but oh, is it good.
So it's 2 hours to get through a whole thing if you don't die.
And you will die, because you have to, like, every time you go through, you, like, gain points to unlock stuff. But, like, you don't start the next round with the shit. It's just, like, more stuff that you can eventually pick through as you're going through the game.
So that was my question. So no matter what, you never change your starting stats or shit you can do. It's just what you can unlock as you go through the run.
Correct.
Huh. Okay. So it's a little different than Hades.
Yeah, it's not like you're building your stats through like the next time through. It's you have a chance of getting better cards during your time through, but a lot more randomized.
And is it always like when you engage an enemy, is it always they attack first or you attack first?
Pretty much you attack first every time, but you know, sometimes depending on your cards, you might not get an attack card, or sometimes they're going to be ready to hit you with like a giant 50-point attack, and you have no defense cards, and you go, "Uh-oh, guess this run's over."
So I was going to say, so if you run into somebody, like, I can't tell from the way the pictures are showing, but like, I see what the battle screen looks like, but is there like an actual like movement screen? Like, is there a map that you're navigating through, or how do you get through the dungeon?
Yeah, there's like in between rounds, there's like kind of like pathways that you can like. There's like a map of paths that you're going through right now, so you can see if you want to go to a rest stop or try your luck at an elite boss or shit like that.
Gotcha. So.
And the relics. Oh, you need the relics. Oh, the relics are important.
So that's interesting. So then let me ask you this. Other than going through and unlocking, Is there ever like if you beat it so many times, something changes other than the ability to unlock everything you can find in a deck, or is that it?
Well, you unlock different characters, and I think the base game comes with 4 characters, and they all play differently. I've only used 2 of them so far, and like even all their entire decks are completely different cards. So it's completely different strategies depending on which one you use. And yeah, there's like a spoiler for a couple-year-old game, whatever. Like at the end of a run, there's like a giant heart that you keep adding damage to. So I guess after you beat it enough times, and like I guess you eventually kill the heart, or maybe there's like a super special final boss. I'm not that far yet, so I'm seeing.
So you had it on the Switch and you got it for the iPhone.
Yeah, so I have it on both.
Did it?
I
Does it have,
I prefer playing it on the
cross-progression?
Switch. No, just basically like having 2 different things going. I
Gotcha.
prefer playing it on the Switch because I feel like I have better control, even though like control's fine, but like I'm less likely to like misclick and fuck something up on the Switch than I am the iPhone.
I was about to say, like, it sounds like it's a card selection. So control doesn't sound like it's. There's no like quick time things, are there?
No, nope.
Okay. Interesting. So
Music simple, graphics are simple, gameplay top notch.
so go back though. So I thought you had somebody looking at your PS5. Did
I
that
do,
not
but
pan out.
no. So I forgot he was on vacation all last week, so I wasn't able to get it to him till today.
That's still fucking crazy. I can't believe that.
I'll get it when I get it, or I won't. Fuck me.
So it looks like there's a Slay the Spire too.
Oh.
Yes. Is it out? It's on Steam. Oh, planned release 2025. Never mind.
Well, I'll be getting that. That's for goddamn sure.
I
Highly
mean,
recommended.
You've always been a big just card deck fighting guy.
Right. It is a game made for me. I love my card games. I love my roguelikes. You put it together, happy Jimmy. Crust everywhere. Crust as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, see, you know what? But this is something I found myself shocked how much I enjoyed the Magic the Gathering. Was it Windwalker or
Oh, Duel of the Planeswalkers?
Duel of the Planeswalker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, as a kid, I still have a lot of my old Magic cards. I got them just because I like the art. I never actually played a physical game because no one where I grew up would play Magic. That was something dorks did. So yeah, couldn't find.
I mean, I didn't play Magic until my 20s, so.
Yeah,
But, yep,
dorks.
love me in my Magic. I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! Earlier as a kid, though, but.
Yeah, that shows.
I believe in the heart of the cards.
Don't you dare. No, yeah, it's funny. So gaming wise, I've kind of jumped back in pretty hardcore with Call of Duty. I just was like randomly like I want to play something quick. Our buddy Eric was on, and between just doing like the zombies mode and the regular multiplayer, yeah, I don't know. It was just nice going back to a game where it's like I was doing progression shit, but I was also actively just not giving a fuck. And boy, oh boy, Chambers, I absolutely love how I haven't played this game in 6 months. I don't know, some crazy amount of time. And still, if I'm not doing the best on my team by such a long shot, we lose so fucking bad. So like the one game, we were playing with Eric. We beat these guys in domination 200-27.
Oh, my God.
It was like there was just a point I was like, this is actually kind of ridiculous. Like this is not even fair. And my games would be I'd get 50 kills or 40 kills and like a great KD, or it'd be like 20 kills and like 40 deaths because I was the only one going for B or like going for objectives. I was like, it's good to see some things never change.
Yep,
Sons
that's
of
for
bitches.
goddamn sure.
But yeah, I've been playing that Fortnite. So
Bri, was anyone lag switching like Trump lag switched the assassin?
damn it, Jim.
Topical.
You're just gonna keep losing us subscribers, aren't you? Oh,
Yeah, what are you
Jim
gonna do?
here.
What are you going to do? What? It's a compliment.
Fortnite. So Logan, of course, like I said, he pulls me in to do. He's like, "Oh, get these challenges done with their battle pass." So he actually unlocked like all these like T60 power armors for Fallout, that was pretty cool. But then they have now like Pirates of the Caribbean, and when I told him that there's movies, he's like, "There is? That's so cool!" Like no reference to it. So going through that, getting him Magneto was really cool because now he's like, "Dad, let's keep watching X-Men '97. Let's finish it." I'm like, "Yep, we can do that." So it's like
he liked it, huh? My daughter got scared by like the second episode with Mr. Sinister. She's like, I don't want to watch anymore. I was like, all right, that's fine.
Oh no, he's all about it. And you know what? That's the kind of funny thing. Like he sees things. He's like, "Who are these guys?" And it was for some reason they have like a Metallica pack. You can buy the band members from Metallica, but like the emotes have the songs, and he's listening to them and he's liking them, like Master of Puppets and all. And I'm like, I can just show you the real music. He's like, "Yeah, but like, is it from this game?" I was like, No, it is not. But I like that he's singing songs and singing shit from like the 90s and even 80s or 70s where I'm like, that's a real song, right? He's like, "No, it's from Fortnite." I'm like, at least he's being introduced to these things, but now you hate that that's the reference point, It's
Yep.
it's a love-hate thing, Jim.
Right? Did you see they added the Tesla truck to Fortnite?
I did not. It doesn't shock me at this point. I mean, they fucking... I guess having all the money in the world, you can just get every license under the sun at this point.
I wonder if that thing breaks down the game like it does in real life.
But, Jim, is it bulletproof like in real life?
Yeah, and shatterproof. That means if you get in a crash or you're in the lake, you can never escape.
Damn
Perfect.
it, Jim. I went through that with him for a while. Now his obsession, and I think I don't know which game it is. It might be Roblox, but he's like, "Dad, do you have Five Nights at Freddy's?" So I was like, "Yes." So he's like, want to watch me play that, so I had to boot that old bastard up and play that again. And that led into, can we watch the movie? All right, so some more technical difficulties. But as I was saying, so Logan now wanted to see Five Nights at Freddy's, a movie. I remember watching him like, oh, there's really no blood. There's like 2 curse words in it. So we watched that. It's like now his like new favorite movie. Just because at first I told him no, and he's like, oh, I got to watch a grown-up movie. So I've been diving down that road, and then the last game is my new on the toilet Switch game is Super Metroid.
Oh, nice. Classic.
It's a game I've started I don't know how many times, and I don't know if I ever actually finished it as a kid, but I always loved the shit out of. So, yeah, I'm going to go back and do it.
Nice. I mean, can't really go wrong there. Bri.
My camera just fucking... No, I'm here.
All right, thank fucking Christ. Yeah, your camera shit out for a second.
All right. All right, coming back. 3, 2, 1. So, yeah, Chambers, now that we talked about our games, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking from the Schoolhouse Brewing out of Marietta, Georgia. It is their Hoppy Horror Picture Show. So the inspiration is pretty much obvious. Rocky Horror. It is a New England IPA. Ingredients: 2-row wheat, flaked wheat, dextrin, and acidulated malts, along with Amarillo, Citra, Mosaic, Simicone, and Sabro hops. A hazy yeast. 6% alcohol, and this is a tasty, smooth son of a bitch. I'm almost basically done it already. Between my tech issues and even before my computer crapped out on me, I was like almost done anyway. This is really good. For a hazy, this is honestly probably one of the favorites that I've had in a long time.
Nice. Yeah, I speaking of beers I really like, the Wissahickon Kolsch, a German-style Kolsch coming in at 5%, which the Wissahickon Brewing Company in Philly. I don't know if I've ever actually had stuff from them before having this beer, so I don't even remember really hearing of them. So I don't know if they're newer. I don't know.
I think I've had something from them before. It sounds familiar.
But German-style Kolsches, they're lagers, extremely light, and you know what? I already have my second can here because I had 2 of these the other night. I'm going to say something bold, Chambers. When it comes to a lager, a light drinking lager, this may be my new favorite one. Like, I may go out of my way to rebuy this as a just once in a while drinker. Like I would take this over any macro any day. Now, obviously, price permitting, can't go through it quite as many, but just so goddamn delicious, goes down easy. Like I love Kolsch's, and that's the thing is now with summer, I know it's weird to say wrapping up, but in reality, it's going to be gone before you know it. So I'm trying to get in all the summer beers I can and all the styles before we go to heavier beers. And this is one I would highly, highly recommend if you've never tried it.
Yeah, Kolsch's are a really underrated style out there. Like the Lancaster Kolsch, it's like probably like double the price now than it was, but like that's been one of my brother's favorite beers for like 15 years. And used to be able to get it cheap because people like weren't buying it because they're like, oh, what is this Kolsch crap? But it's always been delicious. So yeah, I double that, second that. There we go.
Germans know their beer, and Kolsch's great style, underrated, not utilized enough. But I'm happy to see a lot more. Damn it, Jim! Don't you say attention to me. Oh, and Chambers, good news since we talked last episode. Fingers crossed. I gotta see how crazy this fucking work week is gonna be, but I'm probably 70 or 80% through editing Toilets in Wonderland. So I'm hoping to have it out this week. At the minimum, it's definitely next week, but I'm really trying to push this get done this week. So yeah, that fucking game. But Chambers obviously, and thank you. And was that our buddy Todd Howard who sent us that one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Todd, I saw your comment. I do appreciate you understanding the delay, but we do appreciate the support. And Chambers, what questions do we have from our awesome patrons this week?
And yes, I will be starting, what do you call it? I got a little sidetracked by Slate Aspire. Did not expect that. So yes, Postal will be started soon. So patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. First up, from Burn Retinas. I was always the strange kid who tried catching every animal he saw. Did either of you ever have that weird friend with exotic pets that tried to get you to hold a tarantula or a boa constrictor? And what's the strangest pet you will allow in your house?
I don't know if I had a particular friend. I had cousins and like family members. Like my one aunt, she had I think it was a Burmese python. It was a big fucking thing. And I remember being a kid and like she's like, oh yeah, like let it go on your arm, and it started squeezing my arm, and I was like, this isn't fun no more. And like her son, my cousin, also he had I think it was just an iguana, but it was one that like grew like crazy long and those tails that whip. So I was always like super fascinated by it. Like honestly, had I not gone the career path I would have, I definitely would have done something with animals. So I was always that kid too, like obsessed with like, oh, like what's this animal? What's this? So I'm right there with you, Burned. And
all of Brian's furry porn finally coming to roost.
As far as what I would allow in the house, I have dogs. We had a cat. I mean, I would let the kids get like fish or, I mean, if they are old enough and they really wanted to and were willing to take care of it, I don't care if they get a little, what are they called for spiders and snakes? Terrariums?
Something like that.
I don't even know what they're called. Yeah. If it's an enclosure and they can actually take care of it, I don't care. But, you know, I'm not going to be willing to take care of that shit. I remember me and my brother, just to piss my mom off, always wanted a ferret. And I forget which movie we saw where they had ferrets, and we're like, that'd be a really cool pet. And now as an adult, I'm like, I don't want a fucking ferret. But yeah, you know, I'm one of those people, though, ever since I was a kid. I've never had a point in my life where I didn't have a dog in my life. And I will always have a dog in my life, regardless. So, yeah, pets, I'm right there with it. What about you, Chambers?
Yeah, I mean, I had a dog growing up. I have a dog now. I've had a few dogs throughout my life. I had some fish. As far as friends goes, like, everyone was pretty, like, just dogs and cats for the most part. I had a singer in an old band. She had a pet ferret. It's funny enough. And that little guy was fucking cool. Like, apparently when he was, like, real young, she accidentally stepped on his back and, like, kind of broke it. So, like, it always ran around with, like, it almost looked like a slinky when you, like, kind of put the sides together and it has that hump going along there. So he always, like, kind of looked like a little bit of an accordion anytime he was running around. But he was a spunky little asshole. And then there was the night he ate like 5 rubber bands and died. So that was fun. That was a fun end of practice. Yeah. But yeah, ferrets are cool, except for the whole, running everywhere and pooping. So besides that, I mean, I have no interest in anything weird in the house. Like,
I was gonna say, like, I know you're oddly anal about certain things, but like, is there any like weird, like, so perfect example? If I didn't really care about anything, I would love to have like a hawk or a raven or a crow, just like a bird, like to do falconry and eagles, like all that shit. I think that would be cool as shit. Obviously, I don't have the land. I mean, I have land, but I don't have enough land for that. There's no animal that you would go like, this would be really cool to have. And you can't say like tiger or lion, like something impractical. I'm saying something that you could realistically have.
No, I don't care. I take care of enough shit for my attention span. I don't need more.
But Jim, it could be like real life Pokemon.
I'm good. I have digital Pokemon, Bri, because I can turn the game off and not worry about it. Bri, I didn't even have a Tamagotchi as a kid, all right? Too much commitment.
Yeah, see, I'm all about animals. So yeah, I could see as I get older, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, let's get some random weirder shit. But I like that question a lot. It got me thinking. Now I have to look up exotic animals. You know what Monica always wants is a goddamn fennec fox. You know what those are? Did you ever see the foxes with the giant ears that are like super fast, but they never get that big?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, they're so cute. I'm like, yeah, but it's like an exotic animal. Like, I'm not putting out that kind of money for it.
My one coworker, he's got, what are those cats that are like super big and they have like the pointed ears and shit?
The Maine Coon. That's what Monica wants.
Maine Coons. Yeah, he has a Maine Coon. And he's like, yeah, the thing's cool as shit. Like, it's as tall as his daughter, basically. It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, they're so goddamn big. And that's what Monica, I told her I would not, like, my daughter upset. She was like 2 or 3 when our cat died. And she still was like, I miss Maxie. And I'm like, you don't remember him.
He was an asshole.
But, like, yeah, and I'm like, most
he always
cats
bit
are
me.
assholes.
You'd go to vacation. I'd come over to fucking feed him and be like, oh, come here, Max. Try to give him a little attention. Bam. Scratched or bit every fucking time. Dick. Glad he's dead.
Yeah. But I said the only cat I would consider getting would be, like, a Maine Coon, because those do look cool. But I'm like, yeah, I don't need that. Like, cats are way too much maintenance. I mean, some people think they're not. Scooping cat poop is so much more annoying than scooping dog poop. My opinion. But, yeah, I don't need it.
I mean, when it's dry scooping, it's not bad. But, like, fucking, oh, God, just changing out the litter in general, that sucks. Yeah, that's a pain in the balls. Yeah, like, when my buddy goes away for work trips, we go over and check on his goddamn cat. And it's just like, oh, here we go. We're scooping out, like, 15 goddamn 20 piles of shit.
Yeah. And when it's like one giant pile,
and
you're like, what the hell?
giant clump of piss that just coagulates together, the piss rock that they make.
Yeah.
Cats, awful creatures. Cat people, weird. You're wrong.
Animals are pretty awesome. But, yeah, it's funny. If you look at my algorithm on, like, Instagram, like, it's always weird, like, exotic pets or people, like, that have, like, sanctuaries for exotic pets. I love seeing that shit. I'm always like, yeah, that guy that, like, raises the tigers, lions, bears, and all that shit, I'm like, I really hope for his sake they don't turn one day.
Right. People should just do what we did and get your wives from Kensington. It's basically the same thing.
Damn it. Yeah. But I love the question. Thanks, Bernd.
Next up from Todd Howard Sucks. Got a kiddo on the way in September. Congrats, dude. Trying to figure out what will go into my go bag should be for birth. So far, clothes, snacks, and a Switch for entertainment. Any advice y'all can give me? You won't be using that Switch. I can tell you that right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Do not have, because here's the deal. Your wife will not want to look over at any point. I think we're at a good point where she can look over and see you on the phone and be okay. But if you're actively on the Switch and she's in pain or uncomfortable, don't give her ammo to be angry. So you know what? Leave a Switch at home. When the baby's home and you have some time and you're feeding it, putting it to sleep, switch it up. Have a microphone in or headphones in so you're not waking up the baby. But congrats, dude. I would say just clothes and snacks. Figure out shit for your wife. If you have an iPad, bring that, because like we watched a I think that's like one of the first times we ever really rewatched like The Office. I had that on the iPad and we watched that in the hospital. So yeah, bring chargers, and be prepared for sleeping on one of the most uncomfortable chairs you ever will. You'll know the experience of all of us dads.
Yep. And also, do yourself some brownie point favors. Think of a food she's not allowed to eat right now and get her one or two of them, like a hoagie or some shit like that, like a good Italian sub, because they will be craving it after not technically being allowed to have it for so long. And
yeah, I was going to say, get that order ready. Like, figure out what she wants, to Jim's point. That hoagies are always, it always seems, everyone I've ever talked to, like, hoagie seems to be the thing. So,
well, you're not allowed to have lunch meat. So if you tell someone no, that's all they fucking want.
yeah. Well, it's funny. My physical therapist, she was like, she was pregnant as I was like finishing up my sessions, and she said, yeah, all I want is a hoagie and a beer. She's like, the two things like I haven't been able to have for 9 months. So yeah, to Jim's point, earn as many brownie points as you can, and think of the shit of backups that your wife may need that she may forget. So
yeah, and you'll get your gaming time in for like the first like 4 months max, I will say. Mm-hmm. Definitely the first 2 to 3. Because really all you're doing at that point is keeping them alive in between naps. So they will be asleep, and you'll be able to game a lot, take turns with the wife, especially since it's your first kid so far. So, yeah, you'll get your gaming in now, but the first couple of days in the hospital, no. Yeah. Your wife is basically filleted, and if she sees you bring that out, she'll still get out of bed and kill you. So,
yeah, don't give her ammo to be mad. But congrats, dude. That's awesome.
Yep, cheers. And with that, I want to say thank you to everyone out there for the support. Head on over to Patreon for all the tiers, bonus content, bonus episodes. Well, we know we owe you people some bonus episodes. We're going to get to that soon. Nick had a kid, speaking of kids, so he's been a very busy boy himself. And yeah, we're going to get around to it. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, head on over to all of the different platforms. Give us some subs. Give us some likes and reviews. Anything you can do will help the page.
Yeah, thank you guys. We always truly appreciate it. Get those questions. We love hearing from you. All right, Chambers. So, bit of an interesting little turn. We talked probably a couple months ago at this point, maybe. But DEI has been...
Talk of the town.
It's been talk of the town for a little while. I always fuck up. Was it Sweet Baby? Was that the group?
Yeah, they're the big group in the gaming sphere that's known for it.
Everyone knows. For those of you who don't know, DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And news has just recently broke that Microsoft has laid off a DEI team. And the lead of that team wrote an internal email that basically said DEI is no longer business critical. So I actually dove pretty deep into this because it was very quickly, like the tweet I have up comes from Grums, and obviously there's a lot of thoughts and feelings in here, but really quickly it got misinterpreted, like the entire division is gone, which is not the case. And
yeah,
also,
it was a team, not like the team or all of it within Microsoft.
Yeah, so I would say this is one of those situations before you jump to any conclusions, read into it. It was a team. And it was also that email that went out was from a member of the team that was like upset that they're being let go. So it's not like Microsoft themselves came out and said it's no longer business critical. This is the person from the team. So like really quickly you can see how those two things can all of a sudden make it sound like, oh, Microsoft is saying this, and people are tying it to all types of crazy fucking ideas.
Did it say like what it worked? Did it say what it worked on? Because like, I know
that's what I was trying to find.
I couldn't find that anywhere. It's just like one of their DEI teams. So I mean, it's Microsoft, so they probably have a fuckload. And like the article we have is from Business Insider, and it's like, yeah, they established all these teams after the George Floyd protests in 2020 and shit like that as a sign of good faith. So I mean, who knows? Maybe they have like 20 teams, and this is just one that they used the least. I don't know.
And here's the deal. Like we said, DEI in gaming, in media, in whatever, has been a hot topic. Yes, it came to relevance after George Floyd. A lot of companies have implemented it. We've talked about it at length with Sweet Baby and all these things. But it also has caused, I would say, it's like, unfortunately, a game, whether good or bad, can completely get like sidetracked by the assumption that it's just DEI content was included or this or that. Like, how many games have we talked about at this point where it's like that becomes all the game is known for? So
yeah, like all this did was just give like the people who are already going to say shit against DEI ammo anyway. And really, why they fucking think of it as some kind of win with Microsoft? Microsoft doesn't make games anyway, so it's probably not involved in that.
But here's the deal.
Gaming
Honestly,
is not saved.
As far as if you're a company and you look at teams and divisions, once again, we're talking about one single team, but you look at teams and you go, what's an underperformer that's probably not helping us with sales? That's probably an easy, low-hanging fruit that they can say, you know what? We have national policy of DEI like as just a format of like when you're developing games. We probably don't need a whole team of people dedicated to that now. Like it's one of those things that's like in the zeitgeist. Like there's a certain point where you no longer need to say coffee is hot. You no longer need to say certain things where it's like, yeah, it's just part of it. So
yeah, it's gotta be
those teams get phased out.
That's got to be a hard thing to track, too, like the profitability, whether for or against with a team like that. Because it's like, well, how do you track that? Like,
well, that's my point. Like, there is no tracking. It's done as a what's the word I'm looking for? It's
like, do you need a team to tell you, hey, don't say the N-word in the game? All right. How many people do you need to hire for that? What?
No. The point of it, though, is like, if it's anything like Sweet Baby, I know I just said it. If it's anything like them, then it's like, hey, we should add this, more inclusion in this game. It's like, okay, do they need to have X amount of full-time people?
Right.
So I don't know. I just look at things like that and I go, yeah, obviously it's to your point, you can't track exact numbers to it. So if it's not really a money maker, Microsoft's like, dude, we just spent $1 gazillion billion on how many acquisitions? So let's cut some shit. And this is probably just one of, how many game developers did they just cut? We talked about a couple weeks ago.
1,000. They've done 10,000 or something like that over the past 2 years. Something insane.
So, yeah, I don't be surprised, but also don't make it bigger than it is. It's not I think
right. This is the win. The Wokies are done. Game over. Buy my game.
Yeah, DEI in gaming, we've talked about it in media. There is also, and with Sweet Baby, the reason they're under fire. And when we covered that, we were covering the people who now have listed every game that Sweet Baby has been involved with, right? Like on Steam or something. Like
yeah, that
tracking list.
That's how it all started. Yeah.
So here's the deal.
When they tried to get the guy's account banned for starting that list.
Yeah, that shit. So it's just one of these things where it's like, whatever. It's a single team. It's not a win. It's not a loss. It's a nothing effect. But it is funny. It takes 2 minutes to dive a little bit deeper because I don't know who Grums is other than knowing that it's Mark Kern. But
old Blizzard developer, and he's just like the king of anti-DEI rage grifting on Twitter right now.
Yeah, because I feel like we've covered him before. We've talked about him on here before.
Oh, he's been everywhere the past couple months. Unfortunately, yeah. He's always there and he sees it. He must have one of those bots anytime some news with DEI comes out and just gives him an alert.
Grifter's got to grift. We see enough of it with other content creators too, Chambers.
And how?
But yeah, so gamers obviously, the reaction I feel like, now granted it was under Grum status, it just all seemed to agree with him. Have you seen a lot of anyone really upset about this?
No, because this is a story that just came and went. No one really cared except for the people who are just going to rage bait it. No one fucking talked about it or cared.
That's why I was shocked that I didn't see really anyone going, this is terrible.
Well, one, you don't know what exactly they were working on anyway. So, we're a gaming-centered social media kind of thing. Gaming and beer, and on Instagram, beer means a lot of hot women. But besides that, no one was talking about it, at least in the gaming space. So, yeah, no one cared. Doesn't matter.
Well, Chambers, I mean, I guess it's better than...
Beer titties, that matters.
That's all that matters, Jim. Come on. And thank God we're not run by the same company doing the SNK versus Capcom SVC chaos, who would need to put a disclaimer before all the beer posts that we see. Because, this is becoming more and more prevalent in, once again, all media. And you know what?
Who wins this? Disney? Fuck.
I want to dive into that, but this post specifically, so I'm showing the tweet. It's from Yogensha? I'm fucking it up. Yogensha? Yeah. Yogensa. Whatever the case is. So there's a big disclaimer on the game.
Bill.
And it says, damn it.
Bill's
Yes,
friend.
Bill says, this product aims to faithfully recreate the content of the original game at the time of release in 2003 as much as possible. Therefore, the content of this game does not represent the ideals of our company, but is provided as is, respecting the original intent of the game and is not intended to promote or attack any particular ideology or group. So here's the deal. Of all the games where it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So this particular game already has, and I'll put up the picture as well. It already has issues where it's like the Western version of the cover is censored compared to the Japanese, where they like cover up the female. I don't know who the fighters are. Two of the female fighters.
Probably Mai. I assume Mai's one of them.
Yeah, but like, so there's that. That's one issue. But then you have this disclaimer. I went down Reddit. I don't know how many things.
Right? No, don't go to Reddit. No.
Well, I'm saying I went down every avenue I could. YouTube, all the shit of like, well, why did they put that? Like, what in the game could be? I saw some crazy ass theories. Some of them are like, well, this one level could have music that's Arabic and it could have religious ties. Others are like, well, it's good versus evil, so it could be Christian inspired. Like, I saw all types of crazy shit. Some of them are like, well, because of some of the way the women are dressed. Like, nobody seems to fucking know. And then I stumble across an article, and we'll have it below, from Bounding into Comics, which basically the actual people who did the were adapting it said, the disclaimer is not our creation, but we believe it is meant to allow for the possibility that, as an emulation, there's a possibility of a defect or bug. However, our emulation tech is quite robust, so we hope errors in reproduction to be rare and obscure, and if any are found, we would like to fix them. At any rate, it does not imply any deliberate deviation from the 2009 release, which has nothing to fucking do with the disclaimer. So I was like, that was and the people who made it, Code Mystics, that's the port's developer, released that as like a response on Steam, because Steam is just fucking dragging them through the mud with already like, this is bullshit. Like, if you buy this game, give it the most negative reviews, just because they have this disclaimer. But nobody seems to really know what the fuck are they referencing. So I don't know. Have you seen anything more on this?
I mean, anything I saw, it just was everyone assuming it had to be like, it's like when Disney does it. It's just like, all right, this is kind of racist back then, but it was of the time. Like when you put on like Pocahontas or Mulan or something older. For some reason, Song of the South isn't on there. Damnedest thing. But yeah, I mean, that's what everyone just jumped to. But if it's them saying we're trying to just recreate the experience, like, as we see chaos, like I'm not deep in the wings of the fighting game community, but talking to my buddies who are, they're like, yeah, it's like kind of a shitty, janky game. Like, it's not a well-loved game. It's just weird. But apparently, like, with this being re-released, like, SNK's re-released all their SNK versus Capcom games. Because there's SNK versus Capcom, and then there's Capcom versus SNK, which is, like, more loved, basically. Kind of like what they did with Street Fighter X Tekken a couple years ago, where like they did each one with like the fighting style of the other series kind of deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, like apparently SVC versus Capcom is like an updated port of SVC versus Capcom 1, but it was like a rush job, so like the graphics aren't as good, the music isn't as good, there's less options, and a whole bunch of jank in the fighting mechanics and bugs. So, I mean, if you're just doing that, like, why put a disclaimer at all if you're just worried about bugs? Like, you're just kind of showing that the game... Well, you're kind of saying the game sucks. We know it sucks, but we're releasing it anyway. But it's meant to suck? I don't get it.
Well, it also... Then why do you say it's not intended to promote or attack any particular ideology or group? Because...
That's just covering all the bases right there. Jesus.
And other people said, like, well, this is class like SNK does terrible translations. So I also don't know, is it a translation issue? Is it... I really don't know. But
apparently there's problems with the English translation where, like, apparently Ryu is arrogant in the game when he should be, like, serious and calm and the pacifist, like in the core series, like shit like that. So that's something I was able to see really quick on some random wiki for SNK versus SVC Chaos. So I don't know, maybe the translation was kind of fucked, but
yeah, this is another one though. I tried to dive deep. There is no other than that little bit from this developer. I couldn't find anything else. So I don't know if they're ever going to release an official. This is why. All you have is just crackpot theories. I'm going to call them, and you know, this is sign that's terrible, but nobody fucking knows why they even put it. Some people, everyone's making fun of, like, well, they have a thing called Mars people, and it's offensive to Martians. So it's like, you know, people are already cracking jokes about shit like that. But, like, I don't know. Like, what could this game possibly be offensive about? Having never played it, I just wanted to try and figure it out, and for the life of me, I could not. So I'm sure we'll see more about it, but... You know, this did bring me to one thing, Chambers, and it brought me to this idea that we see, and you mentioned it. Disney's a perfect example. The amount of fucking disclaimers, trigger warnings, shit we see in games like Dead Space Remake had a big thing about trigger warning for, like, I think it's like the when the dude's getting his eye thing. They're like, just to be warned, like there's a medical procedure about to be shown. And it got me think. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of these fucking goofy ones that I like. What the fuck was that game I played that I said is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where you're in the backyard with the lead.
Grounded.
Yeah, where they put a big warning about arachnophobia because you're gonna see larger than life spider.
No.
Oh yeah, it was a big thing. Yes.
What?
They made such a big point to point out that if you have arachnophobia, this may not be for you. Like. I'm all for warnings.
The cover of the game wouldn't tell that to you?
like I'm for warnings where it's like, hey, this could cause seizures or there's something like that. 100%. I think back to games, and the only time I think there was a trigger warning that made everyone go like, oh shit, was no Russian in Call of Duty 2. That mission. Yeah. That.
What,
and you
was
know
that,
what?
Was that patched in later too, the trigger warning? Or was that in there?
That was in base game. They made sure that was in the original game, because even they knew back then. You're talking fuck. What was that?
Even 2010 standards, 2009 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. That was like, wow, okay, you're about to do this. But that led me down a thing. I was like, was that the first game I can ever think of where I saw a warning? Call it a trigger. I don't even know if you call it. I mean, I guess that technically is a trigger warning, but like that became such a popular thing. So I went down the rabbit hole of looking into that. Jim, did you know there's a whole site called GameContentTriggers.com, which categorizes all the various triggers and all the various games. And they do things like animals and wildlife, crime, drugs and alcohol, gore, LGBTQ, law enforcement, kink and BDSM, mental health, phobias. Like, they literally just have a list of all these fucking games. And I'm like, at what point do you just say, like, grow the fuck up? There's certain things, like you said, like that game Grounded. On the cover is a fucking giant spider. Yeah, of course. And it led me to an article where a guy was like, I really wanted to find an RPG for my wife, but when she was a kid, she had an incident with a banana spider which left her with arachnophobia. And banana spiders are like the most venomous spiders in the world. Granted, that I believe she probably does have arachnophobia, because I guess she got bit or something happened there. But the fuck does that have to do with now? You don't need to have a trigger warning on every game that has spiders because a very, 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 very minute amount of people will be scared of spiders. Like, at what point is it too much? Is my question.
So, as the social media guy, I am privy to viral tweets to go around, and every couple months there'll be one where like someone just starts to explain how they tried to do some mundane task and they were just like triggered by something stupid and traumatized from something or other. And there's always a meme that's shared where it's just like someone going, "You people can't do anything." And that's what I want to say. That's what you want to, it's what this is. Like, fuck. Like, are we really at a point where like you just, how do you leave the house? Do you leave the house?
And here's the deal.
Eventually, sometimes you have to realize you're the weird one. Sometimes people need to realize this.
At what point do we also just realize life is probably just too good in general for everyone when you have that is your biggest concern of the weekday month, that you might be triggered by a movie or video game, a luxury in your life may trigger you for a 10 or 20 minute episode of being upset. That's where we're at.
Right. I'm sure there's children in Gaza right now going, thank God the arachnophobia trigger warning is grounded. Thank God for that. I think I have it bad, but those people, whew, lucky, like I said, they dodged a bullet.
And this is probably not the best take, but I 100% say if you have things like epilepsy and there's a warning, this could cause seizures. Yes, put that in there every time. Those, I'm like, whatever. But when it's like,
don't listen to Brian's lies. He will chase you with a strobe light. He is a dick.
But like when you see, like even on Disney though, like we said, when they're like, hey, this movie was made in da-da-da-da-da, and we don't share the thoughts and opinions, because, you know, they own so many things other than just Disney products, where you're like, do you even need that at this date? Like, I don't know. Like, there's a point where the trigger warnings are now triggering people. Like, certain people are getting triggered by just, because the number of times, I forget which thing.
Well, I mean, what is it like? Movie? There's like the Crows and the Aristocrats. It's just like, all right. I mean, I kind of get what you're getting at here, but if you didn't point it out, like the 8-year-old watching it won't realize what's going on either.
I don't know if I saw the Aristocrats, so I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's like some it's not jive talking. Like, so the Crows are basically black people, but okay. It's not jive they're talking. It's like it's almost like I can't describe it like correctly. Right
okay.
Now.
But
it's like
but
if you hear them talk, you'll get it. Yeah, basically.
Okay, so but here's the deal. Like my thing is,
it's basically almost like Foghorn Leghorn, but like, you know, probably more racist. Think of it that way.
And I guess, and this is just you and me talking. I'm just asking a question.
Whitey.
Do you need a warning for that? Is my question. Because if you do, then do you need a warning for every cartoon kind of pre-2010?
Yeah, I mean, are you going to put a warning at the start of every Tom and Jerry cartoon with their owner? With, like, the housemaid?
Honestly, that's my question. I'm not asking it as a smart ass. I'm saying, like, if you do it for one or two, then do you just need to do it for all of them? And that begs a question: do you need to do it at all?
Well, here's a little anecdote from good old Jimmy, from good old white bread Jimmy. I grew up watching old Cartoon Network, and this is before they even had like Johnny Bravo and Powerpuff Girls, when they had like no original programming on there, and they would have block after block after block of like old Tex Avery, old like Merry Melodies cartoons, even before it was Looney Tunes. And you would have stuff like, you know, Takes on the Jazz Singer and other things. And as a kid watching it, I did not pick up on the undertones or the overtones, whatever you want to call it, that were going on in them. It wasn't until I was much later watching it going, oh, I was like, oh, okay, well, they just let me watch that, whatever. But it's like, if you don't know what you're looking at, you're not going to think about it either. So, I mean, I don't know if maybe someone would want to say, well, you're introducing it to them subliminally, but like, at least for me, who came up in a pretty racist upbringing, let's just, you know, cut the bullshit, I saw that and I didn't think 1 second about the undertones that were there. I think if you point it out, it's probably asking for more I guess you know what I mean.
No,
It's
I
you're,
know.
you're bringing you're bringing attention to it, basically.
That's
to
kind of
something
my
that,
point, right? Like, at what point, like, it'd be like someone seeing anything in history and saying, "Wow, things was crazy." Like, if anyone watched WWF Raw from the mid '90s,
right?
and even
wasn't DX's impersonation of the Nation of Domination awesome?
I mean,
wasn't that so funny?
Or you just heard Jerry Lawler commentate, like. But do they need to put like? Is there at what point do you go a movie, a music of that time? Like, if you want to appreciate it or not appreciate it or understand why the fuck, like, you go back and you go, well, what was that time like? Do you need the warning to then put in someone's mind like, oh, now I'm gonna look for the thing, like you're saying, like now you're basically doing a big highlight of it. Whereas in some cases, if it's super blatant. Like, yeah, okay, maybe. But in other cases, if it's like a 10-second scene that just comes and goes, you're like, did you need to highlight that? I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer, but I just go, at what point is like, is it too easy for people, is all I'm going to say. That we're worried about people being upset for a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, going back to if you don't draw attention to it, you're not going to think about it. It's, it's like how we look back at a lot of jokes from, say, like Rocco's Modern Life, and we go, how the fuck did they sneak that in there? But again, if you don't know what you're seeing, you're not going to think twice about it.
Oh, dude, we always talk about Ren and Stimpy. You go back, you're like, how did my parents let me watch this as a kid? You're like, with all that, but like, you don't really know unless you're deep in it. And as a kid, you don't pick up on a lot of it.
Yeah. Huh. Why does he have corn magazines in the top of his drawer? That's weird. I wonder what that means.
Damn it, Jim.
That one left the mark.
These disclaimers, like, here's my fear is like fear is the wrong word. Here's my like, oh, this is going to get annoying, is that if they keep emulating or re-bringing back old games, are you just going to start seeing that for every game? Like, once again, this is a game where it's an example where nobody can seem to figure out what the hell the disclaimer is for. I found the thing from these guys talking about emulation, but that doesn't match the language. Other people put out their theories. So, I don't know. At some point, you're just like, yeah, it is what it is, Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I mean, this is also speaking from the side of people who aren't being depicted in that way either. So, maybe it's a thing for them. Like, a black guy's going to watch that and be like, oh, what the fuck is this? So, you never know. Maybe it's for them to be like, hey, watch out, this is coming. Like, this is just what was in there at the time. I don't know what the right answer is on this one, but...
Jim, stop being soft. That's that's what this is all about.
Right, give me my trophy. I showed up. I struck out 7 times. Give me a trophy and put me on the All-Star team.
So, Chambers, let's take a little turn here. Let's talk about your precious Switch and Nintendo and how they can continue to scam their audience after 7 or 8 years of having the Switch on the market to all of a sudden go, hey, do you guys need a charging port for your Joy-Cons? Because this is a perfect thing for you. Which, of course, led people to go, why? And this guy, Chris Scullion, at Scully 1888 says, I bet this is to prepare for the Switch 2 if the reports are true that it uses powerful magnetic system to connect the next-gen Joy-Cons. Then these ones won't be able to attach to it. I bet this has been released to let users charge Switch 1 Joy-Cons or Switch to use. There's a few pieces to that, which, of course, I would put any dollars that whatever, if there is the presumed Joy-Cons of a new system, they will not be, like, you won't be able to use your old ones on it. Honestly, if Nintendo even lets you use the original Joy-Cons, even wirelessly, I would be shocked. Like,
how has there not been something like this already? Like,
that's what's crazy.
I think there's been like 1,000 like by knockoff brands like Power A and other shit, but has Nintendo really not had just like a first-party separate charging dock? That would seem insane.
Well, here's the deal. Don't they automatically... Mine are always on my Switch when I put in the dock, so don't they automatically charge off of that?
Yeah, they do.
So, do you need this? I mean, I guess if you're always multiplayer gaming with your Joy-Cons, then you do have it off. But honestly, I feel like that's a minority of Switch players. I feel like most either use multiple third-party controllers or they would just put them right back on the dock as soon as they're done gaming. I mean, I could be wrong.
Hold on. You keep looking into this. I think I have some kind of charger. Hold on a second. Or just edit this out as I do this.
Yeah.
All right. Back in 3, 2. Well, you do it.
Coming back in 3, 2, 1.
All right. So, yeah, I do have one. It's by Einstein. And, I mean, yeah, it's not first party. So, maybe it is the first party one Nintendo has.
That's why I already said I was reading that of first party shit. We could be absolutely wrong, but this may be the official first time that there's first party. Yeah, there's third party out the ass. But
8 years in? What?
Well, that's why this guy is making this connection, and that's what a lot of people are calling out. Like, that's actually not a terrible take of like why they would be doing this. But I'm still of the belief. Do you think there's any chance in hell Nintendo won't look to squeeze more money out of you by saying those Joy-Cons aren't compatible with the new Switch? Like, so you must buy new ones?
I mean, I'm taking that rumor about old ones working with the new ones with a grain of salt because I would not be surprised at all if old controllers have almost never worked with a new system for all of Nintendo's life, except for Wii controllers could work on the Wii U for certain games. So, they did it there, but besides that...
If it is a Switch 2, then yeah, logic should dictate. Even if it's not, I'm sure the new Joy-Cons, yeah, you won't be able to, if it is just similar kind of mechanics of sliding it in. These old ones definitely won't work, but if they're virtually, because they are just at the end of the day Bluetooth or Wi-Fi enabled, or Bluetooth enabled to your Switch, they should be fine. So I don't know. I think it is a weird item in my opinion. Who the fuck is buying this? So honestly, who doesn't just charge your Joy-Cons? Unless for some reason you just have a shit ton of extra Joy-Cons laying around, which who would do that? I mean, I guess collectors.
Bry.
Yeah,
do not discount the Nintendo fanboy or fangirl.
They let me down all the time. Wait, speaking of this, we need to. This picture pulled it up and it pissed me off, made me pissed off at you. The Nintendo World Championships. I think I saw you talking about it and you said you got the Japanese version. Why the fuck did you order a Japanese version of this?
Because I wanted the physical and the North American version is bullshit. So for the same price, the North American version comes with a plastic recreation of the NWC cartridge for the NES, which does nothing. It's unplayable. It does absolutely nothing. It's bullcrap. The Japanese version comes with a full set of Famicom Joy-Con controllers.
Oh, it comes with actual controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game's exactly the same, because I did look in there. I was like, there's no difference between Japanese.
No, the game's the same. It's what comes with it. Yeah.
But you got to wait for it. Did you order this shit through Limited Run?
No, it wasn't through Limited Run.
Okay, making sure, you son of a bitch.
No, I haven't ordered from them in months. So, I think I'm out. I'm out of the game, Brian. I'm finally out.
Goddamn better be. Son of a bitch.
Put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, and by the way, I had severe FOMO last week with that coming out because you and I talked about it. I really wanted it, and I know we even kind of talked about it, but the fucking fact that there's no true leaderboard that it goes away weekly is so fucking stupid.
Stupid.
How, Nintendo, how do you make everyone's favorite physical shit and you fuck up anything online so bad? Like, the one thing that the whole point of speedrunning, the whole point of scorekeeping is to have a fucking leaderboard. How do you do that? Like, did they even address that? Has that ever been talked about?
I don't think so. At least not yet. And everyone's like, oh, they could always patch it in. But it's like, they shouldn't have to patch it in. How do you make a game based around speedrunning and not have leaderboards? What the fuck?
Because, you know what my idea, Jim, was? And I was like, ooh, I'll get that game. And I'll go one by one and say, I want to get in the top 100. Even if I don't stay there. I just want to do it and do streams for that. I was all excited. And then I read the shit about the leaderboards and I went, the fuck? I was like, well, now I'm not going to do it. Like,
it's not even a real-time leaderboard. You don't even see your placement until the week's up.
That's
so you
my
can't
point.
even say I got to get better. Why?
They literally, they lost. And you know what? I bet I'm not alone. They lost me as a first-time buyer. I'll secondhand buy that shit if they ever patch it in. But I could give two fucks. Like, what's the point?
Like, we could use it for, like, a drinking game for the site. We could bring back drinking games. That would be fun. The local options look very fun. But Nintendo, Jesus. How
Jim,
can you be so bad at this? After
you know
all
how far
this
my
time?
mind went was like, you know what? Maybe with our Discord, we'll just have a leaderboard of just our Discord, and everyone puts in their scores.
That would be great.
And I even was like, you know what? I'll buy the rights to a fucking website and just put up an Excel thing where you fill it in and you just have to send in photo evidence of your score, and it will fill in, and it's the unofficial tracking of leaderboards for this shit. But I'm like, I don't want to do that fucking work because that's ridiculous because you shouldn't need to because it's fucking 2024. God damn it. So, yeah. That pissed me off because I really wanted to do it and I was getting excited. I was like, ooh, I have a good idea for a stream now. And that fucked me up. So, yeah.
And basically every, like, game reviewer under the sun just went, why? So, like, universally panned. Like, you had it. You had it right there. You had a cool idea for once this generation. That wasn't, like, Zelda related. For once, you had a cool idea. And you fucked it up.
They fucked it up royally. I just...
God.
How do you do it, Jim? I don't get it. Is it as dumb as some assholes trying to sell a 4.0 graded missing label NES World Championship gold cart? Because that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen, too.
Right. It's not dumb to sell it. It's dumb to buy it.
Wait a second.
Because you know someone will buy it.
Okay. When we started this, the bid for it started at $10,000. The starting bid, they upped to $40,000 as we're talking.
Yes, as of 16 minutes ago, it went to 40,000. Ooh, actually, today is when, 26 days left on his bid. Wow, 26 days left on this, too. Holy mother of God.
So I have the picture up.
Woo,
There's so
mama.
many things. Okay. Grading in general, we've said, is fucking... It's stupid. It's beyond stupid. I'm sorry. It's dumb. The price values, they've already been debunked as, like... I don't even want to call it conspiracy, but like...
No, it's a scam. It's a scam.
It's a scam. That's the
Go
word
ahead, Wada.
for it.
Sue me. Fuck you. It's a scam.
But
I'll take this episode down. Oh, no. 100 less views on my page. I don't give a shit.
But the fact that there's a missing label and it's graded at a 4.0, and people bitch about our grading systems. If you were the asshole who bought a 4.0 anything out of 10 and you paid $40,000, the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Show pony, Brian. Show pony. That's all it is.
So Nintendo World Championship, is that the rarest game for the NES? I think it is.
It's between that and stadium events, but I think the gold carts, NWCs are definitely the rarest, I think.
Okay. So I know they are extremely rare.
There's like, 26, 28 of them made total for the winners of the competition, some shit like that, and random giveaways.
So, okay, here's super dumb Brian question number one.
Ah, so typical one.
Damn it. So is there like when these things get graded, do they actually test the cartridge to make sure it's
No.
actually
I mean, well, I shouldn't speak out my ass there. I don't believe that they do.
Well,
I
don't
think they're
you
just looking
have
at like
to just to make sure it's work, or is it strictly is the grading strictly related to condition, or is it like the game also runs? Could you? I mean, not that you'd ever open it up, but could you imagine if you got like a 9 point something graded, and you went to put it on and it didn't fucking work?
you know what? I am going to Google that.
Because just fuck, man. Like I'm trying to remember. Was it the NES punk who tried to sell his copy for like $1,000,000 or something on Pawn Stars?
He just brought it into Pawn Stars. I don't think he was ever like mean. Well, I guess according to what he was saying, he didn't mean never really sell it. He just wanted to be on TV.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Like, but that is the game he brought in, right?
Yes.
Do you think this actually gets sold
Yeah, I do.
for 40,000? When it was 10,000, I was like, that's ridiculous. Now that it's at 40,000, you still think it gets sold?
Right. I bet that it will be selling for 6 figures, and I bet it'll be sold because collectors are insane people, and rich people will love to have a showpiece like that. Like, right, fucking Logan Paul walks around with a goddamn $300,000 Charizard around his neck. All right, like people
But
with
you know
money.
what? I'm gonna give him one pass because he actually is obsessed with Pokemon. I feel like anyone buying this is probably not someone who's actually obsessed with this shit. If you and I, or if you or I should say we hit one of those ridiculous lotteries where it's like $1 billion and you have stupid money, I would still never buy this.
So, all right, I'm not seeing about WADA right now. CGC Comics they will grade video games and comics, and according to their forum, they are saying that as for testing games, CGC Video Games does reserve the right to test any game that is received. So if a game is received and it is determined that it has been resealed, we will contact you to ask if you would like the game opened and graded as complete in box, or if you would like to test the game, if you like the game sent back as is. We do not grade resealed games as we cannot verify the contents are complete. As for testing, we do reserve the right to test any game that is received. So at least they test it. I'm going to try and see if I can find about WADA.
I don't know.
You know what? Here's the thing. Well, I mean, Google's a fucking... Maybe I'll do GoDuckGo, because fucking Google sucks anymore.
But go back to my question.
Or DuckDuckGo. Shows how much I use it.
If you had stupid money from like a lottery win, let's say, where money was not an object for anything in your life, would you ever pay that amount for something like this? Would you even want this?
No.
I don't know. It's just...
No, I mean, would I want it? Yes. Obviously, I would love to have a legit copy of NWC. I would love to, like, be that 1 in a billion guy who, like, goes to a sheriff's sale and finds a box in grandma's attic and, like, sees a treasure like that. Obviously, I'd love to have something like that. Like, the closest thing I have to a treasure is, like, my open, just card-only copy of Earthbound. Kind of deal like that. But as far as, like, paying for something like this, fuck no. Get the hell out of here.
I don't know. This is something
Here's the thing. If you like Google or DuckDuckGo anything, and I just say, does WADA test the video games they grade? You will not find a straight answer at all in any search result. So I am going to say probably not. If it doesn't seem to be a priority.
By the way, can I nitpick one thing about this?
Go on.
The fact that this game is starting bid of $40K and you still got to pay $20 for shipping. Like, you can't throw that in the fucking cost. Are you serious?
Got to pay the troll toll.
That would piss me. Even if I was like a billionaire, I'd be like, that's goddamn ridiculous. It's a principle thing, Jim.
And the condition.
You're not going to find that shit.
Yeah, it's just saying, how does WATA grade games? For cartridges, WATA Games looks at the state of the cartridge itself in search of scuffs and scratches, as well as the condition of the label and contacts. The box is effectively rated by how much damage it has taken, which can include dents, bent corners, and rips. Factory sealing is much the same. Pristine is blah, 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 blah. WATA has 2 grading scales. This is from WinGG, so Win.gg, so whatever that is. WATA Games has 2 grading scales, one for the quality of the piece itself, and a separate scale specifically for the quality of the wrap on factory sealed. So yeah, it doesn't seem like they test it.
So it's just the physical appearance.
Basically, yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yep.
That would be some shit, though. Like, could you imagine it doesn't even work?
Well, you're never going to know unless you crack open your fucking grading case, so.
So ridiculous.
Well, right, it's
why
like,
can't we get to shit that matters? Like goddamn controllers with Deadpool and Wolverine's butt on them.
It's important, Brian.
That's where money should go.
It's important. I'd much rather use my money on that. I would buy 10,000 of these controllers before I'd buy an NWC. I probably wouldn't. But.
And you'd still have money left over compared to NWC.
By the time, yeah, probably.
But here's the deal.
Look at that cake.
Love it or hate it. Deadpool and Wolverine are going all out in the marketing. They've done the popcorn things, which... Did it start with Dune? With
no,
the
they were...
Dune
was like the first big memed one. So, like, I forget what... There's been, like, a couple movies, like... I know, like, I have a Little Mermaid one in my other room here because my wife loves Little Mermaid. So, I know a lot of companies started to just do, like, themed popcorn buckets. So...
Oh, no, yeah, I wasn't meant that. I meant ones where it's, like, it could be conceived as, like, sexual.
The Doom
like
one, everyone just called a flashlight, yes.
Yes, yeah. So they made one with Wolverine where it's just his mouth for this one. So they're going all out, and you know what? It's the humor of Deadpool, and the fact that my whole question is like, we know collectors are crazy, especially for Nintendo and shit. Do you think there's enough Xbox and Microsoft collectors that would actually buy these? Like, we talked about the one, what was it? The Xbox controller where it was like furry or something. Like, it had like fur on it. There were some like limited edition, because we've covered goofy controllers by Xbox before. I forget what the material.
Oh yeah, like they had like a fuzzy one. They had
weird.
one that had like had crazy comic book wraps. They had an X-Men wrap, special Series X for when X-Men '97 came out. They're pretty good at this. They're pretty good at their marketing for this hardware.
Yeah. And if you click into the article we have below, so Xbox has like you can actually win it on
that's the
right.
That's the only way you can get it too. By the way, they're not just selling this. Yeah.
So it's not selling it. Yeah. So, but the Deadpool one comes with a legit like Series X, and I think it actually even includes some katanas with it as well, like a whole stand of it. Here's my question, Jim. Somebody who wins this, do you think anyone who wins this is keeping it or turning around and just selling it?
My heart says keep, but my brain says resell.
What do you think something like this, knowing how rare it is and knowing the fact that it can only be won this way, and I don't even know, I was trying to find an exact number of, is it just one? Is it multiple? I don't know. What do you think something like this, if you were going to turn around and sell, what does it sell for? Let's just keep it at controllers, not the full Xbox. So just these controllers, if you have the Wolverine and Deadpool. Couple hundred?
Maybe max grand a piece?
That's what I'm curious about.
I would really wonder what that sells for, because I know there's been other ones. It's a good question.
Here's the deal. Would you maximize the value if you are able to somehow see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and get them to sign those?
I mean, that would obviously have to fucking do it. I'd have to add value to it. Then again, it's a weird... Collectors they're fucking weird, because some will like take value away from an original item if it's been signed, because then it's been like tampered with.
So when they do things like this, and we've seen these goofy controllers before... Do you think it comes in a packaging, or is it just the controller?
you got to think if they're going to go that far out, they got to have some kind of special box with it.
Yeah.
Like your mom's,
Jim.
for example.
Son of a bitch. Jim, you're into weird shit all the time. If you entered the sweepstakes, would you, if you won these,
Sell
would you
the
turn around,
shit out of
them?
it. Bye.
You wouldn't keep it?
Nah.
Because you have a sick collector's mind.
I do.
I would sell it because I don't care enough about it. You, though, there's that weird part of you that's like, but I'm the one who has it.
No,
So-
no, I would say it's probably like 60-40 between sell and not sell. So there's a very good chance that I would just hold on to it. I know me. I would just sit there and look at it and be like, ah.
The real question is, what are you really doing with it, Jim?
New episode of the Krusty Corner. That's what I'm doing, Brian.
Damn it! So yeah, I love. You know what? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love these goofy promotion things. I'm all for it.
Microsoft
Just can't wait.
Microsoft can't make a game, but they know how to sell their fucking merch and get some hype around it.
I can't wait to see in probably a month, 2 months, if we do see these things on sale and what the price is.
Yeah, we'll be tracking this price in the fucking NWC with no label.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So that movie comes out next. Is it this week or next week? I think it's this week. Comes out this week. So my guess is, when does this sweepstakes go to? I would have to assume it's tied into when the movie releases.
You would think?
Oh, no. 1,000 people can get this.
Oh, really?
Apparently. Yeah, it says in the one article, it says, if you don't like your chances of earning this way, from July 22nd, the first 1,000 fans that purchase an Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 Core from Microsoft Storefront will receive a Deadpool controller holder Deadpool controller holder. I don't know. I can't figure it out. You may be right, but apparently you can get. Who the fuck wants a controller holder? That's stupid.
Dumb collectors.
So either way, we'll see. I think in 2 weeks we'll probably see a story and be like, "Yep, it sold for blah 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 blah."
Would not shock me. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, or we will forget, like we always do.
So Chambers, let's close this out with a an event that, admittedly, I couldn't give two fucks about, but I'm showing the clip here of what is a absolutely ridiculous counter at Evo this year.
Oh, yes.
And it was posted as of yesterday. We are recording this on 22nd, so it was posted on the 21st. The video shows it all. Someone is playing as Ken, is going against someone playing as Hugo. I don't actually know who these people... Well, oh wait, it has their names. It's trying to zoom in. I can't see his name. Hayo versus... God damn it, what's his name? Frankie 8FG, I think, from what I can see. And Ken is whooping Hugo's ass. Hugo basically has like a jab away from dying, and at the last second kind of does this jump over combo, and nerds will be nerds and they go nuts. Does this beat the previous like crazy counter we've seen from Evo?
So I looked a little bit into this. So for anyone who doesn't know the crazy, it's one of the most famous like fighting game video clips ever, where basically I think it was Street Fighter Alpha 3, Third Strike. I think it was like Ken versus Chun-Li. And I think like Chun-Li had like maybe Ken did. Had like absolutely no life left. And the only way he could have pulled out a win is to perfectly combo like one of the super combos that was going out. And he perfectly timed it every single time. Like you can't just hold back because that's how you lose damage. You have to perfectly time out these attacks. Or these blocks. And he did it, and he fouled it up with like a crazy combo of his own to win. And the crowd goes wild. It's one of the most famous fighting game clips ever. This is kind of in that thing where, like you said, the ones getting their ass kicked. And what apparently makes this special is there's like some move that he did with a button that's like, I don't know if it's a taunt or just like a little back jump or some kind of bullshit. It's like
he did like this like goofy little like drop kick, which just perfectly framed right over Ken's head as Ken was going into a move. So like,
yeah, like one of the commenters
it-
is basically like, you don't get it. Like that's a useless move that no one does, and we don't know why it's in the game. And he's like the first guy almost ever at like a major stage to like use it as part of a perfectly timed comeback. Like basically, it's another one of those like -0.1% chances of this ever happening kind of deal. And it's like if you watch it, like he makes it look easy. I'm looking at it going, what the fuck did I just watch?
well, what's crazy is if this is the only thing I can't tell from the video is this like the final championship or is this just a random game?
No, I think it was just a
Getting-
round. Another just random round.
That's the only thing where I go, it's still I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying if this had been like the final championship and that was the moment, that would make it more epic in my opinion.
If I remember correctly, the original greatest clip ever also wasn't in the finals.
I mean, it's crazy. It's you know what it is? That's always been my problem with 2D games is at the end of the day, the sprite hit detection is only as good as like where you are spatially. Whereas I remember with Tekken, the number of times you would like at the right second just kind of like dodge back and you would see the fist like be in the same spatial area and it would miss by like just it felt like inches. And this is one of the best examples of that I've ever seen where it's like, oh dude, he's like over his head by like a centimeter or some crazy. It's not. I mean, he's actually covering Ken's head as he's going over it, so the hitbox never picked it up. So that's fucking insane.
Bri, the technical term is cunt hair.
Damn it, Jim! What if you laser?
Then you're a true queen.
I mean, I'm still shocked Evo is this big, and I know I'm completely out of the loop. That's not my world, but
Same.
wow. God damn. You know what it is though? I feel for that other guy.
Oh God,
You just
yeah.
gotta sit there and be like,
You know, the whole time, like I obviously they're way more composed because they're in the moment. But like if it was me,
course.
I'll just be there screaming like, no, 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 ah!
Jim, what if this was me and you? How hard would you throw that controller?
I'd be taking a window out with me probably. TV would be taken off the wall.
I mean, it's you know, it's part of the competition, but still, I feel for that guy. That is a bad beat if I've ever seen one. Like
That is a humdinger right there.
he had him dead to rights, and oh boy. So,
Yeah, and we're not really doing this justice. So no matter what platform you're listening to this on, click the link below in the description. Take a watch at the video. It's like, what, 30 seconds long? So, yeah, I mean, it's worth it. You're just going to be like, wow, how the hell did he do that?
I mean, like I said, if you're watching it, you see the reaction, you see the video. It's crazy, but yeah, it's Jim. It's like me rolling 20s on you.
Sure is.
Jim, you know what we need to do?
Oh, good.
We need to do a
Oh, good.
full
I have
Hero
11
Escape game.
I have 11 defense. There's no way I get hit. And my guy's dead.
Oh, you rolled a 1 or a 2? I got this. Is that why you still hate Deathwalker?
Yes. Yes, I do. Fuck Deathwalker. 9 goddamn defense in 1 life. Get the fuck out of here. Liability. That's what that is. 130-point liability.
So, Chambers, how did your Rocky Horror beer treat you?
I mean, this went down so friggin' smooth. I mean, I wish I had more of them. It was delicious. If you're in Marietta and you can get your hands on it, I couldn't recommend it enough. And then after that, I had another one of my Green Zebras by Founders. Speaking of summer drinks, quickly becoming one of my favorites as well. So, tastes a little nice. I
can't recommend the Kolsch enough. I said, regardless if it's Wissahickon, if you see this style and you're unsure and you generally like lagers or pilsners or something that's just very easy to drink, I would highly, highly recommend trying the style. It's delicious. Now done with those. So, yeah, as I said to you at the beginning, I think I'm going to go back and try and get more of those. But with that, everyone, we want to say thank you all so much for watching, for listening. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit subscribe. We truly appreciate it. Comment in our videos below. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, hit the subscribe button. Give us a 5-star. And even if you want to bash us in the comments, we'll read them on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.